You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, I got to tell you, I don't know about you guys, but I still wish Caitlin Clark would have possibly went to a different merchandising company, a different product company, maybe Adidas or Under Armour, somebody like that, versus Nike. And this is the exact kind of reason why. We talk about this a lot on the channel. One word, agenda. And no greater sports brand has an agenda than Nike. And Nike is largely driven by anything that is socially related. In this day and time, we call it DEI. And look no further than the government now doing a probe into Nike for systemic discrimination against white people. Now, guys, I believe that Caitlin Clark signed on with Nike, and I had a feeling that when Nike signed her, they were like, oh, full steam ahead. We're going to market the shit out of Caitlin Clark, yada, yada, yada. And then I believe these comments happened from what was, at the time, their biggest marketable women's basketball star, A'ja Wilson. Remember right before Caitlin Clark came into the league? All right, she gave an interview talking about A'ja Wilson with the AP in 2024, and she was talking about race and marketability. Quote, I think it's a huge thing. I think a lot of people say it's not about black and white, but to me, it is. It really is, but because you can be top-notch at what you are as a black woman, but yet maybe something that people don't want to see. They don't see it. They don't see it as marketable, so it doesn't matter how hard I work. It doesn't matter what we do as black women. We're still going to be swept under the rug, and that boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because it is. Well, I believe that Nike heard those words combined with the actions of a lot of the athletes in the WNBA. Remember, Indiana Fever fans, Caitlin Clark fans, were a bunch of racists. And I think Nike threw the brakes on. I think they threw the brakes on, this is my opinion, I've always believed this, they threw the brakes on marketing Caitlin Clark. All right? We're talking about the brand that got full steam behind Colin Kaepernick at one time. Something that myself and John Matrix covered a lot on Black and White Sports. Well, Nike's actions may have a price at some point. Nike's being investigated by the federal government over allegations it committed systemic race discrimination against white workers, including through its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. You don't say. Say it isn't so. All right. The U.S. Equal Opportunity Commission announced Wednesday that it had filed an enforcement action to force Nike to produce information. The agency alleges that the sneaker giant discriminated against white employees, including passing them over for promotions, choosing them for layoffs, and failing to select them for leadership development and other career development programs. Now, to bring this back around to A'ja Wilson, didn't anybody find it a little odd that as we sat back waiting for something to happen with Caitlin Clark, we got inundated with all of these Nike A'ja Wilson commercials. Remember this?
And if you talk smack, she's gonna clap back.
I got it.
All right.
100% I got it. Like, I'm not gonna mess up next time, I promise.
And much to the chagrin of all of us trying to watch Caitlin Clark play for the Indiana Fever, we had to sit through a series of those awful commercials. Whoa. but we survived somehow. We survived. All the while going, where the hell is Caitlin Clark's marketing at? And not till what? About 6 weeks ago? We finally got a commercial, and it was a damn good one with Caitlin Clark. But we finally got something out of Nike. Just 18 months later. And now you've got to wonder, did Nike sideline far and away what would have been their most marketable athlete in women's sports? Let's keep it real. Right now, she would have gave all their athletes a run for their money. Did they sideline her because of agenda that was DEI driven? These are questions I would love to know. The Equal Opportunity Commission, Employment Commission, a federal agency that investigates and enforces laws prohibiting workplace discrimination, says it issued a subpoena seeking to compel Nike to turn over information dating back as far as 2018. It saw details about how Nike tracked and used employee race and ethnicity data, the decision-making process behind how it set executive pay, and information about 16 programs. What? That, quote, allegedly provided race-restricted mentoring, leadership, and career development opportunities. When the company failed to produce all the information sought by subpoena, the agency filed an enforcement action in federal court. Copy of the enforcement action was not available. The EEOC did not immediately respond to email. In a statement to Front Office Sports, Nike spokesperson said, "This feels like a surprising and unusual escalation. We had extensive good faith participation in the EEOC inquiry into our personnel practices, programs, and decisions, and had ongoing efforts to provide information and engage constructively with the agency. We have shared thousands of pages of information, detailed written responses to the EEOC's inquiry, and are in the process of providing additional information." So, and he goes on to talk about the fact that Trump came in and he crushed all these DEI initiatives as best he can. And there's all kinds of lawsuits against all kinds of companies. But I've always found it odd with the timing of all of this. All right? The timing of Nike gets its most marketable women's star ever into a basketball league, and then all of a sudden, it's crickets. We all know what that sounds like at night when there's nothing but crickets chirping. It means there ain't nothing going on. Everybody's asleep. That Nike fell asleep, and we all sit back going, are they blowing the greatest marketing opportunity in the history of sports since Michael Jeffrey Jordan? And all the while, every damn basketball game, even NFL games, you're like, why am I looking at an Asia Wilson commercial right now? 4-time MVP, Rhodes. Yeah, don't draw flies to shit. I mean, let's be honest. Let's keep it real here. That's what we do on this channel. Not drawing nothing. Not drawing a view to nothing. Got a full-blown marketing campaign. Didn't somebody involving the Obamas actually direct one of those commercials where they're doing that ridiculous chant? You want to, bam, hit yourself right in the eye with something? I'm just pointing that out. Oh, but Rose, did you have to make a political... Look, I mean, it is what it is. It's an agenda-driven league. And I'm telling you, between the words that she come out and said, combined with the fact that all of a sudden you had a bunch of pissed-off WNBA players because they wasn't getting the love that Caitlin Clark was getting from her racist-ass fans. And, of course, no, they're not racist, but that's what they labeled. Let's keep it real. We all remember the war that was launched onto Caitlin Clark fans, Indiana Fever fans. by some in the media and by players. And I think Nike was like, oh, this situation's too hot. We can't market the straight white girl right now. Did I say that out loud? Sure did. Sure said it out loud, didn't I? Again, speculation by me. That's what we do here is we speculate out loud so you can form your own opinion. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, make sure you're still subscribed. Check out blackwhitenetwork.com for exclusive member content. Become a member to this channel or any of our channels. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.